What's up, Garage Journal? Mechanic named John here again. I thought I would do one last video tour of the Harbor Freight box. So this is probably going to be pretty lengthy. I went through the thread again, and some people asked some questions like what tools from Harbor Freight were not up to the challenge for a pro mechanic. So I'll kind of give my opinion on some of them as we go through it. Fortunately for me, Harbor Freight is, from this shop, but anywhere I was, not too far away, but from this shop, Harbor Freight's like a mile down the road. So even if something broke, you just go right there and get a replacement. Anyway, this is going to be my last toolbox tour before we upgrade to a Mac box. The Mac seems to be the better deal price-wise. I'm sure it's not the best quality box, but like I said before in previous videos, I think the Mac boxes are the best looking, and that's what I'm going to go for. I'm torn between the Tech Series and the Maximizer. I plan on getting a bottom, a top, and two lockers just like this setup. The Maximizer, I don't know if I'll ever fill that thing. Probably not. And the Tech Series, that'll probably get filled up over time, but definitely not right away. I'm not going to go and say what color I picked yet. I know what I picked, but we'll make that a surprise later when that box comes in. But, the prices are pretty reasonable. A whole Maximizer setup is pretty much $17,000. He said he gave me 10 grand for my box. We all know how the spiel goes. With the Tech Series, it's going to cost me $10,000. So it's a $7,000 difference. And I think I'm just going to go with the Tech Series. If anybody could tell me why I should go with the Maximizer versus the Tech Series, please let me know. But as far as right now, I think I decided on the Tech Series. Another thing I wanted to say before we get through to the box, I'm not going to replace everything from Harbor Freight. Maybe if it fails, I might just upgrade to something else. But as far as the specialty tools, the stuff in cases, I'm pretty much going to keep that. None of them have failed me. There's no reason to buy any of the truck brand, compression or leak down testers for however many hundreds of dollars they want for it. I can't just be, spending money like that. I mean, as much as I want to, I don't really think there's a need for it. Anyway, let's get on to the box. So, I don't quite remember what is different from the last time you guys have seen it, but, I'm doing my best to get all this stuff in here. Anyway, I think as of for right now, I might actually keep the Harbor Freight sockets. I have no issues with them. They actually have performed very well. I really can't complain. The only thing that I had a problem with was the half-inch drive impact swivel sockets. They obviously revised them. It's kind of hard to see, but anyway, they revised them. I warranted them, got a new set. Haven't used them yet, so I can't really say much. But the spring clips kind of pop out on them. I still have the old and standard. Again, I apologize, it's kind of hard to see. But, I think I'm going to keep them. I really don't have a problem with them. If I do get different sockets, as far as chrome goes, I'll probably do SK. That's what I did in the past. I really liked my SKs. Not the ratchets so much, but I really like the SK sockets. They were a good price. But again, I think I'm just going to keep the Harbor Freight ones, but we'll see. As far as impact goes, again, I don't have any problem with the Harbor Freight ones. I wish they did offer a few more sizes, but we're pretty good. I mean, pretty much have everything we need. Again, I don't know what brand I'll use. Maybe Gray, maybe Sun-X, but I mean, certainly not truck brands. It's just too pricey. But anyway, I believe most of this is the same. As far as tools breaking. Let's see if we can't see it. There's a Torx right there. Torx bit broke. I've broke a couple of them in the past. Not really a big deal. They're definitely better than the Lyle ones. I fucking hate the Lyle ones. Hated them. They've always been shit. I mean, 15 years ago they sucked. So I assume they suck now. I remember looking on maybe the Hot Deal Index or something like that. Somebody was talking about how much they hate the Lyle sockets and or Torx bits and whatever else they offer, and everybody kind of jumped on and said they were shit. Well, I mean, they definitely are. But the Harbor Freight ones, I'll probably upgrade those. You know, because I really don't want to have them break, but they didn't break that often. I think I broke like 3 or 4 of them in the duration of time that we've used them. So, other than that, everything's pretty good with it. I would, let's see, here's the ratchet drawer. I would love to get the Mac old Comfort Grip red hard handle ratchets. They're discontinued. I really hope they bring them back out. I posted up a thread saying that I'm looking for some, but I mean, you know, if you guys know me, you know that I want them in like near mint to new. You know, like I want them perfect. So, and if anybody knows anybody, you know, let me know. But again, hopefully Mac will bring them out. Because you know what's funny? I mean, the Mac's new composite. You know, I'm assuming they're made overseas. I think everybody's already said that or whatever, but I mean, their handles are eerily similar to the Harbor Freight ones. So, I mean, there's no reason, one, I would buy them, you know, for the price that they offer if it's going to function just as well or maybe a little bit better than these. I mean, I've had no problem with these. Again, once we get the Mac box, whatever I do decide to keep from Harbor Freight, hand tool wise, I am definitely going to figure out a way to warranty them out and get all brand new. So I know it sounds funny or whatever, but you know, if I'm going to have a nice new pretty box, I want at least nice clean tools. There's my 18-inch ratchet, flex head ratchet breaker bar combo. I love that thing. I also saw on another thread, Bull was asking about the double-sided ratchets. I grabbed another one. This was a double-sider. It was 1/4 inch and 3/8. Of course, the 1/4 inch was up top here. Yeah, I fucking hate the double-sided ones. I mean, if you're going to have an extending handle ratchet or anything double-sided, to me it's just pointless. It seems to get in the way. I personally don't like them. I mean, I know other guys like them, and that's great, but I can't stand them. So I cut the 3/8 portion off and put it in there. Flipped it backwards and put it in that way. You know, I actually use this one a lot. Why did I warranty it? Oh, the teeth were stripping out on it because, like I said, I used a 1/4 inch to get into the tight spots, and I used the extending leverage. So, I mean, I kind of, you know, I guess you would say use it on maybe some stuff that I might not supposed to use it on. You know, kind of like heavy braking force. But anyway, it broke one time in, you know, over a year, and I just replaced it. So, there's the ratchets. You know, I'll definitely keep the Harbor Freight composites. I like them. I might, you know, keep most of them. I'm definitely keeping the flex heads. I have no issues with them. They're wonderful. Those flex heads, not so great. But, you know, for what I use them for, they seem to work well. I rarely use them, you know, sometimes for tight spots, stuff like that. You know, or breaking something loose with a larger ratchet and then, you know, trying to quickly get it off with the smaller one. It's basically what I use it for. And I know I'm rambling, and I'm going to continue to ramble. Like I said, this is probably going to be a long video, and, you know, so feel free to skip ahead or not watch it all. Extensions, and no problems with them. The go-through, or pass-through, or whatever Harbor Freight's calling it, definitely keeping that. I love that. It's worked great for me. Line wrenches, these are not from Harbor Freight. These are Power Built or something like that. Got them at like Pep Boys. They're okay. They're pretty decent. Definitely going to upgrade the wrenches. You know, don't know who I'm going to go with. Maybe Snap-on, maybe not. You know, I don't know. The little big wrenches, or that's what I call them, I'm probably keeping these also. They work great for what I use them for. You know, there's no need to spend hundreds of dollars on a set, you know, in my opinion. So, this is pretty much the same thing in standard. So, the adjustables, I'll probably keep. I rarely use them. Let's see. There's going to be a little bit of changes in tools in here too that you guys haven't seen. I know people kind of don't like these long wrenches or whatever from Harbor Freight. I like them. You know, they're not that pretty, but I haven't busted a knuckle or rounded off a bolt with them. You know, I know people were complaining about it, but it just hasn't happened for me. The Flex ratcheting wrenches, they're pretty good. I will probably upgrade them though. You know, the ratcheting portion seems to work, but the actual, you know, open end, I don't know. They just seem kind of loose or funny, or just on a couple of them. So, I mean, sometimes, you know, you get them for a tight spot, and you realize, like, oh, the ratcheting head won't fit. That's another reason why I think I want to upgrade them, because they're a little bulky in the ratcheting head. But I'll attempt to, you know, bust the nut or bolt loose or whatever with the open end, and it just doesn't seem to function for me. I have to grab one of these. So, there's my complaint on that. Let's see. Yeah, I ended up putting the big wrenches in here, and the Allen keys. I know people don't like these Allen keys. Again, I haven't had a problem with them. You know, I like them. They're a little ugly, you know, but they work fine. Like I said, I mean, I don't know what some people are using them for, but I just kind of use them for quick getting something off or just snugging something up. I don't put a lot of force on them, so, you know, I don't know. As far as these big wrenches go, they're great for the money. I mean, I don't use them often. Maybe if you're in some kind of heavy equipment or industrial or something like that, maybe these aren't the wrenches for you, but I basically use them for, like, clutch fans and stuff, and I really like them. That's a Husky Allen key set. Actually needed a 9mm, or a rare size, but so I had to get that. I think we did the metric wrenches, didn't we? I don't know. I'll come back to them. But anyway, metric wrenches, pretty much the same thing as the standard. These are those multi-size, yeah, whatever ones. I use them a couple times. They actually work well. I'll probably end up just keeping these for the fact that I don't use them that much. And they do kind of come in handy in a pinch, and they were relatively inexpensive. So I really have no problem with them. Air tools. I am going to replace the Harbor Freight air tools. I don't really have a problem with them. They actually do work very well. I'm replacing them for my own stupid reasons. I think the clutch set, or the clutch brand, is pretty much very similar to these. I think they look better, so that's one reason why I want to get them. And I saw they had like a real stubby half-inch drive impact, and I'd like to pick one of those up. So I think I'm just going to order a whole clutch set. I'll keep these. I mean, I'm not going to, you can't really sell them or do anything with them. But like I said before, we have some interns, and hopefully they turn into apprentices and stuff like that. And we'll just save this stuff for them. Let them beat it up. Alright. This drawer, I think, has always stayed the same. Basically 3/4 inch stuff and torque wrenches. Got the digital torque wrench. I don't really like it. I think it's a fine torque wrench. I just personally don't like the digital. I like the click style a lot better. You know, for me, the digital, even with the sounds and the beeps and everything else, the numbers just fluctuate. I just feel uncomfortable using it, like I'm not going to get the right torque. So I don't use it for torquing anything. What I do use it for, and it seems to come in real handy, is engine building. When you're assembling the bottom end, you know, if you actually look in your specs and through the torque specs, most of the time either a good manual or a good site will actually give you the rotating torque. You know, how much force it takes to spin the crankshaft. So this actually works really well for giving me that reference. So that way I know, like, okay, we're taking a little too much torque. You know, we'll check the bearing end caps, or just, you know, whatever there might be a problem, and you know, there will be no comeback issue. So it actually works great for that. For Harbor Freight, I think it was a little bit on the pricey side. I don't quite remember how much it was. I'm thinking like somewhere between $70 and $100. I don't know if that is before or after the 20% off coupon, but you know, I would definitely, you know, I like it. I'm not returning it. It serves a purpose for me. So I mean, that's it. And again, this one looks very similar to the Mac digital torque wrenches. It's not exact, but it's very similar. So I don't know if they're made in the same manufacturing plant, or, you know, it's just some plant copying something else, because, I mean, we know that happens too. But regardless, you know, I liked it. So let's see. What do we got? All right. Few little changes going to be here. Screwdriver drawer is not as organized as neatly as I like, but I grabbed a few Mac items, so I had to put them in here. I think they're screaming and yelling at me right now because they're sitting next to Harbor Freight tools and Harbor Freight box, but don't worry, guys, that'll change soon. I got a Mac Impact bit set. The Harbor Freight one sucks ass. I would not even recommend it. I honestly hate that thing. So I got that. My Mac guy seems to have really good prices. I mean, I looked some of this stuff on eBay used. You know, a lot of guys were asking used more than I paid for them new. You know, I don't know if that's just eBay people being crazy or whatever, but I picked up this 4-piece extra long set. That was, what was that, $80? I think it was $80. Yeah, it's $20 a screwdriver. So, you know, that's not too bad in my book. This was $65, and I saw it for a lot more online. So I don't know what you guys are paying for them or whatever, but my Mac guy is great. As far as the Harbor Freight screwdrivers, the black ones that come with the kit, they're all right. You know, after kind of playing with the Mac ones do bite a whole hell of a lot better. But I haven't really stripped out anything with these. I actually like these ones a little bit better. They actually seem tighter, you know, tighter tips, and I like the feel of the handles. But I'm a sucker for the Mac composites, because that's what I had a long time ago, and I want them again. So another Mac screwdriver set. I got this for $95, brand new, $95. Again, I saw them on eBay. They were like, some guy was asking like $125 for a beat the shit used set, and I think somebody was asking like $135 or $140 for a new set. And I got these for $95. I love them. You know, it's just my own personal preference. I know a lot of people, oh, you know, snap-on, 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 but I don't know. I'm sentimental value towards the Mac one, so that's what I'm going with. And I got a Mac pick set on order. That'll be here soon, hopefully. The Harbor Freight, these vice grips, I am going to replace them, you know, with better quality. They're not that bad, but they're not that great. So in a professional condition, I would say it's 50-50, depending on what you're doing with them. But, you know, it's definitely worth the try. I mean, they're inexpensive. If there's a local Harbor Freight, you know, get them. If you don't like them, just return them. They'll give you your money back. But, you know, they're not bad, but definitely upgrading them. More Mac. There's the old Harbor Freight Impact driver. Like I said, garbage. This pick set works relatively well. I am going to replace them though. One, they're just ugly as shit, and two, they're kind of ergonomically weird. I personally don't like the feel of these handles. I don't know why. I don't like them. But you know, it did seem to work well. But I am going to replace them. Let's see. Little change in this drawer. Yeah, upgraded the channel lock. Really couldn't beat it. I got again, I'm looking through the camera, so I'm sorry. You know, I got 1, 2, 3, these 4 at Home Depot. They were on sale for like $25 or $20. I don't remember. That price versus the Harbor Freight price, it's a no-brainer. And the Harbor Freight ones, honestly, you know, at least for the slip joints, Harbor Freight slip joints fucking suck. You have no idea how many times I've pinched my own fucking fingers together with the, you know, my knuckles with them, squeeze them together, they're slipping. Fucking hate them. I'm not even warrantying them. I'm just tossing them. I wouldn't want anybody to use them. You know, their needle nose and everything else is okay. Their dikes are fine. You know, just slather them in PB Blaster or oil or WD-40 or whatever you use, because they'll rust fucking instantly. But anyway, I want to upgrade pretty much everything to channel lock. Again, I don't want to spend a small fortune in pliers, because I'm not really a pliers guy that much. But, you know, for the money, you can't beat the channel locks. And, I mean, they warranty them right at Home Depot. Lowe's carries them. I mean, there's always one of them around. So, the little Harbor Freight pliers, they're not bad. They're really not. They work fine. The hose remover pliers, they're pretty good too. So, no complaints, other than they just, like, kind of rust. You know, I wish they made some, like, longer and, you know, a little bit more, like, angle to them. You know, offered a different variety, but in the end, they're okay. The 90-degree needle nose, you know, and the extra long needle nose, they're pretty good too. I mean, you're not really, or at least for me, I'm not really putting that much brute force on them for what, I mean, they're usually just to reach something that I can't get to, you know, so I have no problems with them, but I am going to replace them. Where are we at? We're going to go this way. This is pretty much the same as in all the other videos. I had to put the Harbor Freight bit set here and have room anywhere else. Definitely upgrading that. It's, again, one of those 50-50 hit or miss depending on what you're using it for, but I probably wouldn't recommend it. Power steering pulley remover installer, great. No problems with it. You know, I'm just going to keep it. It works great. Let's see, way over here. Yeah. Yeah, the hose clamp plier set, I'm going to upgrade that too. This is not from Harbor Freight. It's, what is it, OEM brand? Yeah, they kind of suck. So, let's see. What else? Mighty Vac, you know, that's good. I'm keeping that. That was from Harbor Freight. But Mighty Vac brand, it's good. Clutch alignment tool, I only used that thing twice. Worked fine. Let's see. Harbor Freight seat clamps, again, those are hit or miss depending on what you're doing with them. I have bent a couple of them and warrantied them. The large one is not from Harbor Freight. I actually got it at Advance Auto. I needed one like on the spot or delivered. I can't remember why I didn't get it at Harbor Freight, but I got it from Advance Auto. Looks pretty much identical to the ones at Harbor Freight. It's fine. Oil filter bands, the claws from Harbor Freight, that's fine. The dial caliper from Harbor Freight, that's pretty good. Actually, this exhaust pipe cutter works kind of well. This is my third one though. The other two were shitty. The wheels kept cracking. I don't know if they redesigned it or I got lucky or I was unlucky before, but this one's fine. The wheels on it are, again, sorry about the light. The wheels on it are fine, and I've cut at least a dozen pipe with it. So, you know, the other ones kind of did 1-2 cuts and they were done. Alright, let's see. We're already there. None of this is from Harbor Freight, so I guess we'll disregard that. This is for a Volvo specialty tool. I don't know if anybody remembers a while ago the argumentative thread about doing a Volvo with no specialty tools, but I picked this up because I actually do another Volvo to see if it was any better. Now, this is not, you know, the Volvo brand tools. This was on eBay, and I guess somebody made them. Yeah, they're fucking pointless. They really are. there's no need for any of these. I don't even know why they're in the box. They won't be in the Mac one, so. Mac Noid Light. I would not recommend them. I keep popping them for some reason. I don't know. You know, sometimes they just pop. Injector pulse tester. I actually got that from Mac. Man, like what, 15 years ago or something like that. It's not Mac brand, obviously. I paid like a fortune for it then. I think you could buy them new, like online for 20 bucks now. But the multimeter, obviously not Harbor Freight. I'll probably keep them. We'll see. But I mean, if I upgrade, you know, I guess it's gonna be what, the standard Fluke. I don't know. I'll probably just keep this. I have no problem with it. And the Harbor Freight clamp meter, for the rarity that I use it, I'll keep that too. Let's see, where are we at? Holy shit, we're at 25 minutes already. We're already there. Ditch the wooden ball peen hammers for the fiberglass ones. Would not recommend the wooden hammers. Yeah, a head of one, like, basically fucking flew off. So, yeah, don't get those. But these are pretty good. And they don't have, you know, we were doing a little test between the two. These don't really bounce back at you. I actually really, really like them for the money, and I will probably keep them. The orange dead blow, I've yet to replace that thing. It's time to. Piston ring, I always keep saying, I think I said it the last time I made a video, I need to get the band style, the band clamp style. I've yet to get them, but I'm going to get them soon. So, let's see. And this is just electronics from Harbor Freight. Battery analyzer, timing light. I'll probably just keep all this stuff too. I just keep some of the electrical tools in this. This was a case for, I think, 3/4 inch impact sockets. Cut the, hollowed it out and just used it to hold various testers and stuff. But anyway, so let's go to the locker. Probably keeping everything in the locker. I know it's going to sound crazy, but just cleaned all the cases too. So, well, maybe not everything. The gray case is body hammers. Yeah, I mean, I don't really do much body work. In fact, you know, we have some stuff coming into the shop, you know, small stuff. Any large end stuff, I'm either going to sublet out, or if we get enough, I'll pull a guy in who's, you know, experienced and, you know, far more experienced than I am. But, you know, O2 sockets, they're good. Back to the infamous tap and die. I have no fucking problems with them. You know, they work very well. I don't think I'm going to upgrade them. There's really no need. Like I said, they were like $6 to $8 a kit, and I would recommend them to anybody. Just use them the right way. Hole saw kit, use that actually a couple of times. A couple times on metal and a few times on plastic. No problems with them yet. I would still consider them relatively new, though. I think I've only used them, like I said, a couple times. Harbor Freight AC gauges in the red case. It was like $40. Yeah, I'm still keeping them. They've worked perfect for me. Sniffer, I'll probably keep that. I rarely use it, but I do sometimes, and it works good. Vacuum pump, again, if you look at the ones through Mac and even Snap-on, they're like identical looking except for color. UV leak detection kit, that was from one of the auto parts stores. That's good. The bearing pullers and blind hole pullers, and you know, I'll probably keep them. The U-joint or ball joint service tool, yeah, those things are, if you don't have to put an impact on it, it's fine. If you have to put an impact on it, expect to warranty it. And I also found this out too. Expect the warranty to not be lifetime, which I think is bullshit. It should technically be a hand tool, but they're only 90-day in it. And, you know, $70 for 90 days at Harbor Freight, that's just ridiculous. I wouldn't recommend it. In fact, if you really need it in a pinch, and even if it works well, you might want to just return it and buy it every time you need it. Because, you know, I had to bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch with them, and you know, basically threaten to return shit that I bought, you know, within a 90-day period if they didn't give me this stupid $70 tool that bent. I mean, I was fucking pissed. And, you know, it took a phone call to corporate in order to get it done, you know. And, you know, I just think it's kind of bullshit, you know. Now, my local Harbor Freight, basically every employee in there that I knew is gone, and it's all new staff. So, I mean, they don't really know, you know, how much shit I have really purchased from the place. But, you know, I mean, my God, man, how much do we have here? You know, you can't, you know, you gotta give me a fucking hard time. It really pissed me off. That's one reason why I'm switching out of the Harbor Freight, too. It seems like their policy's switching. And, you know, maybe it makes sense because, I mean, you know, the fact that you can just buy something and return an entire set and get a whole set new, and they're selling the stuff so cheap, you do wonder how they make a fucking profit. But regardless, you know, anyway, I'm rambling, so that's that. The brake caliper service kit for the spinning calipers. Case is a little dirty. I guess we got to clean that, but I have no problems with that too. I know it sounds funny. It's like I'm keeping most of the Harbor Freight stuff, but you know, I mean, it does work. You know, so you know, there's really no need, you know, to upgrade. Like I said, I think I'm going to keep more or less changing some of the hand tools and stuff out, and you know, possibly the sockets. Harbor Freight paint shit. I'll tell you what, their paint guns are pretty damn good. These are new ones. They were on sale. I have, shit, I don't even know, 6 or 8 of each of the small and large ones in the back there. You know, you could pick these things up for $10 to $12. Every time I see them on sale, I just grab them. They're fine, you know. I mean, I'm sure a lot of guys are going to be like, no, fuck that, they're shit. They're only good for priming, you know, get a SATA or DeVilbiss, whatever. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, you got to wet sand every fucking car, so what's the difference? But, you know, I'm sure there is a difference. But for me, I don't really care. So these are fine. All right, next locker. And let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, Harbor Freight snap ring pliers. Yeah, garbage. Don't even waste your time. The black case is a electronic stethoscope, or digital stethoscope, whatever they want to call it. I like it. I think I got it for like $10. It's good. These are non-Harbor Freight items. Block tester, stuff like that back there. The headphones are from Harbor Freight. They're good. Safety glasses, not from Harbor Freight. I don't like Harbor Freight safety glasses. They seem to scratch too easy. But again, you know, that's your own personal preference, whatever you want to get. Digital borescope in the black case. I am not getting rid of that. I love that tool. In fact, like I said, I think I'm just going to keep everything in here. Leak down tester, compression tester, vacuum tester, oil pressure tester. They're good. Still have the black case is the corded half-inch drive impact. I don't really use it anymore. So, I don't know why it's in there, but it's still there. Master fuel injector set and bearing puller. I like it. And again, the Master fuel injector set from Harbor Freight looks very, very similar to the one that Mac Tools is offering. You know, very similar. I mean, just look at it yourself. You know, do whatever. But, I mean, they look damn near identical. Radiator pressure tester. And tester from Harbor Freight. It's a good kit. Missing a couple things. No reason why you couldn't just get this and a stant. Actually need to get a stant. But, you know, it's a good kit. I would definitely recommend it. Another fuel pressure gauge. Fuel line disconnects. You know, the line clamps from Harbor Freight. Those are good. I probably won't put this in the new box. You know, I keep going for the master kit anyway. This is good for just quick little reference, but again, we'll just make a box or something for the interns. You know, I am trading in this box. for the deal that it is. It kind of upsets me though a little bit. I mean, I kind of have some sentimental value towards the box, for what it has done for me. But I don't know. Oh yeah, these are new. I sold my old Inova scanner for $200 and picked up the Inova. It's basically the same but with OBD1 and 2 capabilities. A customer of mine, they're brand new. Bought him to diagnose his truck. We traded it for some work. I definitely made out. And this is an Actron scanner. I basically use this one for ABS. I really don't like it for code reading capability. It's just not as easy or user-friendly as the Inova, in my opinion. But, it's pretty cool. But, like I said, I just use it for ABS. Advanced, there was a deal on Amazon or something like that. I think it was one of those, like, misprinted deals or something. I printed it out, called Advance, asked them if they would price match. They said they would. I got it for $75. I believe it's like a $275 scanner or something like that. So, I mean, $75, I'm grabbing it. Because to do the ABS upgrades on this is, I think, $100 or a couple $100, or I don't know. So it's always good to have a backup scanner in case one of these fails. So, $75, can't beat it. Well, that's it for the box. I've been rambling for 36 minutes. I guess we'll move on to the cart. A couple other Harbor Freight items. I actually purchased this display rack from Harbor Freight. They had 2 for sale. I was going to buy both of them, but some guy actually bought one prior to me getting there. $100 for this rack. I think that's a really good deal. Not to mention, it actually had a SKU number. So I argued and bitched my point that since there's a Harbor Freight number on it and it doesn't classify as a toolbox, welder, yada, 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 let me use my 20% off coupon. They did. So $80 for that rack is a really good deal in my opinion. But yeah, I guess I am a haggler sometimes, but whatever. So I like it. $80. I mean, there's basically a whole PT Cruiser parts on front and back side of it, and I can get more attachments, hang stuff off it. It's actually great for organizing when you're doing a big job. It really is, and it wheels around. You can wheel to the side of the car, front of the car. I think it was a good $80 value. Another thing I got for $80 are these wheel skates or dollies, whatever you want to call them. They're actually really good. Just make sure that you take them apart and grease the wheels. It works a lot better, but they're great. I got them on sale too for $20 a piece. I mean, buy them in a set of 2. I think it was like $40 a set. Maybe it was $30 a set. I don't remember. It was a coupon in one of the magazines. So, and that black tray, that's a cement mixing tray from Harbor Freight. I grabbed 3 of them. The last 3 they had, they were like $5 a piece on sale. They're great for catching fluids, coolant, stuff like that. I love it. So let's go on to the cart. I don't know what I'm doing with the cart. Maybe I'll paint it to match the Mac box. Maybe I'll get a Mac cart. I really don't know. But here's the cart. It's pretty much what you guys remember. And a little smoke detector or smoke tester that I made under there. So, I mean, there's the cart. A couple Harbor Freight flashlights. Monster Rehab. Don't drink that shit. My God, you need like rehab for rehab. This stuff is mega addicting, but I mean it works. I almost seem like can't get by the day with a couple of these. In fact, I bought cases of them. I have cases of them. But anyway, that's a whole other entity or problem that I have. So not only am I addicted to rehab, I have OCD. So whatever. But here it is for the last time, guys. Again, I haven't decided on what box I'm getting, but I'm not making another video for a while. So I mean, here she is. For the last time. She'll be gone next time you guys get a video, probably. But it worked well for me. I had an idea. I wanted to have my own thing, And, I really don't like working for people. And I want to have my own thing, do it my own way. A lot of old bosses kind of said that. I ran some machine shops and stuff like that. And, some of my bosses, if I didn't agree with something that they were doing, whether it be on a business aspect, a financial aspect, or a customer relation aspect, some of them said, some of them took the advice and actually went with it, and that's why I ran some things. But some of them were kind of just like, those who, whatever the saying is, I can't remember it, but, something like, along the lines of, if you think you can run a business, then why aren't you, or something like that. Well, you know what? Then fuck you. I will run my own business. And this box in Harbor Freight is responsible for me getting there. It was a small investment in retrospect. It served its purpose, and here we are. That's how the whole thread started, the Harbor Freight investment. I would recommend anybody starting out in the field to do this. I mean, until you're fully committed or whatever, you're going to find that a lot of stuff that you have, you're going to keep. If guys are going to give you a hard time in the shop because you have Harbor Freight, well, then you know what? I mean, fuck them. Who really cares? If it bothers you that much, then I guess buy all the tool truck stuff. Do whatever you want. But you'll come to find out that if you get a setup like this, and you're working in a shop, and if the guys are giving you a hard time, they're going to start to come over and go, hey, can I borrow your 50mm wrench? Or, hey, can I use your leak down tester? Or, hey. And then you can tell them to go fuck themselves or go to Harbor Freight and get shit. It's funny. Most of the guys that talk shit in a shop have fucking nothing. It's probably because they have their own fucking issues. And whatever, again, I'm rambling, but, I would never knock a guy if he came to my shop looking for a job and rolled in this same exact setup. I don't care. I mean, like I said, I want to up the image of the shop and up my own image. And plus, I want a Mac box, and I'm going to get it. I can afford it, and that's it, I mean, I'm sure there's some guys out there that drive Corvettes and Ferraris and Lamborghinis, but, I mean, you can always get to work in a Hyundai. But, I want my Mac box, and I'm going to get it, and that's that. But, I don't want people to think that now I'm going to be anti-Harbor Freight or anything like that. Not even the case. So I would recommend that anybody go this route. I don't think there's a reason for you to go into such massive debt in a field that you're new in, because you might not stick with it. So with that being said, there she is in all her glory, and she will be gone the next time you see her. And, best wishes to everybody at Garage Journal. I know I ramble, and if you watch the whole thing, I appreciate it. I'll do more updates, and, the shop's moving along. Didn't even get to do the floors yet. They actually need to be, soda blasted, which I actually ordered a commercial-grade soda blaster, and hopefully it'll be here within a month. I actually can't wait for it to get here. We have to go get a decent compressor. So I'm kind of deciding on which one to get. I think I might just spring for a more expensive, really good one, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. But, like I said, best wishes to everybody in Garage Journal land. I haven't completely given up on Harbor Freight. I'm not turning sides. I was never against Snap-on Mac or anything like that. I stated in the beginning of this thread, I had a Mac setup, and I loved it, and I'm going to have it again. So, and this box got me there, and so did the tools. So, again, I'm a rambler, but, best wishes, again, to everybody out there. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the support. Even the criticism, I don't really care. Advice is advice. But in the end, I'm going to make my own decision. And so far, making my own decisions have worked out for me. So, there it is. And I'll see you guys later.